Hello and welcome to the latest interview on the Bare Knuckle Casual. By the way, I use Riverside to do my interviews. Now this is only my second interview so far, so far so good. Riverside seems to be pretty good for me. I put a link in the description for them if anybody out there wants to try them out. I'm slightly retarded when it comes to technology, so I have to say it's been pretty good for me so far. Now, there's a lot more stuff in there, like features and stuff that I haven't used yet. But the more interviews I do, I'm going to start introducing more features and stuff like that, putting in clips, so on and that. So that's my next mission. So look, if anyone out there wants to do interviews or do podcasts and stuff like that, at this stage, I'm recommending Riverside. So click on that link in the description and check it out. You get a 14-day trial. Okay, so best of luck. And here comes the interview. Okay, hello and welcome to the Bare Knuckle Casual. We have another interview here with the big man himself, Dan CURTIN. How are you getting on, Dan?
Yes, my brother. Thank you for having me on, mate. Thank you for having me on.
No worries. Okay, so big event coming up for you the next couple of days, isn't it?
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship returns to Newcastle with a night of non-stop bare knuckle fighting action.
Yes, mate. This Saturday, it's finally here, mate. It feels like it's been forever, but it's finally here.
Yeah, well, it's not that long ago since you fought. How long ago is it since you fought for the BKFC? Remind me.
I fought there earlier this year. I think it was January. February. I fought there. I think it was. I'm not 100% myself, to be honest with you, mate. They all roll into one.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I knew it wasn't that long ago, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And I do follow a lot of the other bare knuckle fighters, and do say that they don't get as many fights as they would like. You know what I mean? So you guys seem to be doing pretty well in terms of getting fights. You know, this is your second fight this year, so. It's
third. It's my third.
It's a big achievement, isn't it?
It's my third fight this year.
Third. Oh, but no. All right. What was that? Was that for a regional fight or what?
No. So I fought on Impact BKB up in Scotland.
Go time, big man.
Hi, big man.
Listen, if you think them tits are going to save you, they fucking in. All right. Fucking keep them away.
No, mate, stop me the food in your beard, mate. That makes
me. Listen, you're all right when I go rubbing that all over your forehead, boy.
Let's go, man. Keep that same energy in the morning, big man. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
You're fucking big, could you?
Fought a guy up there, so that was
all right.
Yeah, I fought in between them as well.
And it would be like, say, on the level of the Guerrilla Promotions, would it? Impact.
No, to be honest with you, mate, I know Impact are classed as a smaller show, but the standard of bare knuckle fighters in Scotland is massive. I mean, you've only got to have a look at people like Sean Weir, you know, they're top of the sport in BKFC. So Scotland's got a really high standard of bare knuckle, so it was a decent show, and I was in with a very good lad.
Yeah, I've seen that actually. I actually noticed that, and then what I was going to say, so they focus mainly on bare knuckle, is it? Impact.
Yeah, it's a bare knuckle show. It is a bare knuckle show. They use the IFK, which is a sanctioned body for BKFC, so they're running under the same banner. They're trying to do it the same, you know. But honestly, I can't fault it. It was a brilliant show, and I really enjoyed myself up there.
Yeah, because personally, I've been following bits and pieces of the Guerrilla Promotions. You know what I mean? Just over the last few months, or whatever, and it seems to be growing an awful lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the Scottish, they're notorious. They love a fight, don't they?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I know the BKFC are up there now, and later on in the year, so it's going to be pretty hectic crowd. Now, I was thinking of going to that event myself now, but I'm not 100% sure, you know. I might stick to the Manchester card first. Yeah. And I know it's actually good. The train station's right beside that venue in Everton, so it's actually very easy to get to.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. And I flew up there when I fought there, and the venue was literally about 15 minutes from the airport, so brilliant.
Yeah. Right. So, listen, tell me, Dan, so what motivates you to compete in the BKFC, you know?
I'll be honest with you, mate. It was almost a bit of a punishment for myself. So I fought unlicensed boxing. I had a pretty good run. I was 9-0 unbeaten at one point. And then I come up against a guy called Carl Mallinson, who a lot of people from the white collar scene would know.
In the blue, Dan Curtin. Neither man really needs introduction.
He's a decorated kickboxer, unlicensed boxer. He's won about every title there is to go. And I turned up. I wasn't training, which was notorious for me with my white collar fights. I turned up 136 kilo, fat as anything, and I really let myself down. So I sort of said to myself, you know what? Is that who you really are? Is that who you really think you are? If you think you're this man and you just let yourself go like that. So I was like, no, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to push myself even further. So I thought, next hardest thing I could possibly get my hands on, bare knuckle. So I wanted to test myself, and that's what it's always about for me. I want to test myself to see who I am as a man.
Okay, so what's your day job anyway, Daniel?
So I'm a utility worker, so there's a lot of hand digging. A lot of real hard graft, to be honest, which is something I do struggle with training. Work at the same time. I mean, I'm getting older now. I'm 35, 36 in November. And that is something I find difficult. I do a proper man's job.
It's not that. 35, not the end of the world either now. You know what I mean? Like, you're a good few years after you, like, but
yeah,
if you're on the tools, like, it's pretty, it's a grueling job. And I say you're up, it's a lot of commuting, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, it's mostly East Europeans that do my job. That's how hard it is. It's mostly Lithuanians, Russians, they all do my job. I'm one of the only English guys there, so it's a hard graft,
Yeah. Well, look, I worked on sites myself over the years, so I know exactly what you're on about, especially the groundworks as well, is fucking, you know what I mean?
What I do is all hand digging.
As well.
Yeah, what I do is all hand digging. You've got to wear arc-proof clothing. So it's hot and it's hard, do you know what I mean? So it builds a bit of character, should we say.
Yeah. I would imagine so. Like, I mean, I was creeping on your Instagram there today, and you don't happen to like to go to the hot weather. Just like what happened this last while.
Fucking hell, boys and girls. Someone left the oven door open again, or what? Fuck me, Jesus. Hot. Cheers. Woo! It's no joke out here.
Did you notice that, did you? I mean, when it's like 35 degrees, I'm giving diggers with no aircon in. I'm bound to be a bit upset,
I know, it's like you seem to be getting well trimmed for this fight, are you?
Yeah, so I've kind of been one of those guys that's always just took fights on last minute's notice. With my white collar fights, I never even really used to train, to be honest with you. But now I've gone to Simon's gym. I mean, out of respect for that gym, that gym's got a fantastic reputation, Fitness Factory. You have to put the work in. I only had, I'd say, about 4 weeks training for the Kazim Salmani fight on BKFC the first time round, and I've had about 5.5 for this one. So, but this one, I've actually took my diet a little bit more seriously. I've trimmed up. I've lost about 12 kilos, and I've actually taken it as you need to for these sort of fights,
So, tell us, and I'll go back to that Gismani fight in a minute, but has competing in the BKFC improved your performance within combat sports, we'd say?
I'd say so, because you realise this, especially in bare knuckle, it's a game of margins. I mean, it's not like boxing where you can get away with something, you've got a glove to protect you. It's not that. You have to be sharp, you have to be on the ball, because if you're not, you are going to get hurt bad. And I mean quickly, do you know what I mean? So you have to up your game, otherwise you're just going to get destroyed every time.
And do you want to tell me about your opponent that's coming up this week?
Yeah, so there's a fella called Chris Burton. I know he's a bit older than myself. I think he's about 42. He's 15 and 2 as a professional boxer. So he had a good standing back in the day. He was tipped to be big things, but I'm not sure why he went off the scene for a little bit, and he's decided to come back to bare knuckle. Madman.
Yeah. So, like, as you said yourself, would you be good into that fight as an underdog or a favourite, or what? Where you think you'd be going?
Listen, I think, from the first time the BKFC, I'll step in with anyone. It doesn't bother me. I mean, Kazim Salmani was classed as their new big thing. He was Conor McGregor signed him himself.
WWE to BKFC, a new heavyweight edition. Take a look at it.
I didn't care. 4 weeks training, no problem. I'll get in there, Same with this guy. I believe he's a bit of a ticket seller. And, it's in his neck of the woods. they want some tickets sold and they want someone to fight him. But unfortunately, this time they've made a mistake.
So, like, tell us about that Almani fight, because I was actually only starting to get interested in BKFC, kind of around that time. You know what I mean? And I just know that you were saying that you're being compared to the Wolves there on that one.
Yeah, so he was signed by Conor McGregor. Obviously, he's a WWE superstar, so he's got a massive following. He had been a cage fighter. He was a really big name, really big name. But as far as I'm concerned, mate, we're all men. We all bleed. It doesn't matter to me. If you're breathing, you're fair game to me. I don't care. That's as simple as that for me. But I was going in a massive underdog, and that's my first ever bare knuckle fight. So you imagine I was feature fight of the night against Conor McGregor's first, rising star. And I was chucked in there, So you can imagine it was a big thing for me, but I think I handled it well. Obviously, it didn't go my way. I'm not going to no shakes about that, but I think where it comes to the occasion and being in the BKFC, I think I handled it fairly well for my very, very first time.
Yeah, and that was another question I wanted to ask you. And I didn't realize that was your only first bare knuckle fight. So, like, I actually just assumed that you've done it on the region scene before this.
No, that was my very first one, mate. And like I say, what a stage for my very first fight. Most people sort of start off a bit lower.
So what's it like competing with the big, as in, what I meant to say was, like, say, like, the stage, the crowd, you know what I mean? Like, you're on a big stage there with BKFC. What's that like, Is it daunting or what? Or?
I'll be honest with you, mate. It wasn't daunting for me at first, but then I'd say about 5 minutes before due to walk through that curtain, I was absolutely packing it, mate. I think anyone who says they're not is lying. Before that, I think the biggest crowd I boxed in front of was 500. There was 5,000 at least there. It was a massive arena, and it's just a different level, mate. It's a different level.
In that fight that you cracked just Manny pretty well at the very beginning.
Immediately to the inside right hand, another big right hook, counter right hand, and down goes Gizem Selmani.
And then, well, maybe as you said, you only had a 4-week camp for that fight. So maybe that's, had something to do with you not finishing that fight well, like.
No, listen, mate, I'm going to take nothing away from him either. Like, at the end of the day, it was my very first bare knuckle fight. Like I said to you, I don't think people realise that I'd had no experience at that point whatsoever, and I was stepping onto the biggest stage possible. And I think the occasion got to me a little bit. I'm not going to make no excuses. I think it did. I dropped him in 30 seconds. And I almost panicked, I almost panicked and thought, Jesus, what's going on? And give him too much time, too much respect. And he ended up giving me 16 stitches on my forehead. So, it's one of them. You live and you learn,
Yeah, I probably you could probably see that. You probably were, like, surprised that you were doing so well at the very beginning, like, you know what I mean? And then, so obviously
I'm not surprised I do well.
You have the right natural ability to do what has to be done, like, you know what I mean? So you probably, as you say...
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm surprised I do well because I know I've got power, I know I've got power, but I've never even fought bare knuckles. So I didn't know what it felt like anything. And to be honest with you, the shot I dropped him with was only about half a shot. So, if I actually connect with someone properly, I'm fairly confident I could put someone out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're doing a proper camp this time around, like, you know what I mean? It could be very, very, you know what I mean? Very to see how it ends up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, your man's in trouble, man. I'm telling you, your man's in trouble.
In terms of your training at the moment, what's it focusing on? Is it on your cardio or whatever? Maybe you tell me what, if you want to tell me, like, maybe you don't want to.
No, so, like I said, I think this is something my opponent's going to find out. Bare knuckle boxing is not boxing. So there's a lot of things you need to adapt to allow for no gloves. I mean, there's clinching involved, which no one really, prepares for until you do it. So it's just been working on all aspects of bare knuckle. But again, I think it's actually cardio is a massive one. I mean, my cardio was not very good at the best of times. So we've hammered it this time, so I'm not spent in 30 seconds, that's the game plan.
There's a couple of bare knuckle boxers in that gym, is there?
Yeah, so we've got some big stars at our gym. Obviously, we've got Connor Tierney, George Thorpe, Chris Forsyth, Paul O'Sullivan. They're going to kill me for getting the names. We've got loads in our gym. Our gym is notorious for it.
I know that. Yeah, I was thinking that the name of that gym does pop up every now and again, So
we're on every show, every single show Fitness Factory are
there. Yeah, it seems to be like. So your young family, I just want to know, You want to give them a shout out or something like that?
Yeah, big shout out to my Mrs.
Say hello to
Abby,
the kids or
my
something like
son
that.
Zaxon, my daughter Marnie, and my unborn son Roman.
Lovely. And how did they watch your fight at all? Did they?
So yes, my missus watched it last time. She didn't come to the venue, but obviously she was pregnant then, so she does watch it. But in terms of my family, like they're not really too they're not too into it, to be honest with you. Obviously they care about me, so seeing you absolutely gashed in blood is not ideal for them. You know, I understand that.
Probably it might be local to not interested in it in some ways. You know that?
Well, they enjoy it once it's finished, if that makes sense. But I think at the time, as anyone you care for, it's nerve wracking, you know.
And probably do you feel under pressure at the minute, like at times when it comes up to a fight? Like, is it what's the family like as someone that's training for a upcoming fight?
I think everyone struggles with the same thing, really. It's trying to find that balance. And obviously, because I'm out training a lot, you know, my missus is looking after the newborn baby on her own. You know, she's running the house on her own. I guess it does get to that point where it's like, you know, she wants help. Do you know what I mean? She wants to be at home, but she understands and she supports me, and she knows that, you know, if I don't want to get my head taken off, I need to train, you know?
Yeah, the sport is crucial, I'd say, you know that. So like, I know it's the same kind of question, but what's it like being a father and a fighter then?
It's tricky. I think anyone who doesn't say that it isn't is a liar. It's tricky because, like I say, it's hard for me. I come in from a hard day's graft. I see my son very briefly. He's buzzing to see me. Then he got to turn right back around and walk out the door and go and train for 2 hours. And by the time I get home, he's asleep. Do you know what I mean? So after a while, that does weigh heavy on your heart. I'm not going to lie to you, but yeah, that's part of it, mate. I'm doing it so that when he gets older, he can look back and say, okay, this is how a man should conduct himself. You know, get yourself doing something, get yourself into a gym, you know, and hopefully that all comes good in the end, you know?
I have a question about you fighting in other promotions, and you probably covered that with the Impact. Have they got any shows coming up? Be it Impact?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have one in Scotland themselves at some point. I don't quite remember what it is, but I know Mark's always looking to put on shows, and I know the next one was due to be in a bigger venue in Scotland due to the success of the last one. So. Yeah, they'll be growing 100%. And like I said, I'd like to fight as much as I could. Gorilla, all of them. Just give me a call. I'll fight anyone. It doesn't bother me.
So you're not one of those guys that ducks opponents or is looking to pad your record or anything like that, are you?
Listen, mate. Even from the white collars, you know, I've been in with some really good people. I mean, I guess there's always that bit at the start where people try and be careful where they position themselves, but in the end. And then the only person you're lying to is yourself, you know. Fair enough, some people got to get used to the game. I get that. But for me, it's, you know, it's do or die. There's no point in hanging around. If you want to beat the best, you got to be in with the best and see where you're at, you know.
Well, then you're going to wrap it up here. Dan, just tell me how you got involved with BKFC in the first place. I'm not sure if we covered that.
Yeah, so basically what it was, like I said to you, I'd made an absolute tit of myself in the fight, looked a fat mess, and I was pissed off with myself. I thought, well, I said, that's not who I am as a man. I know I'm better than that, so I push even harder. So I knew the Fitness Factory Simon's gym was about 45 minutes away from me. But I thought, you know what, if I want to do this, I need to be at the best gym. I'm willing to travel, so I was traveling there. And I just said to Simon, look, I'd like to fight Bare Knuckle. Didn't expect it to be on the massive stage as it was, but I said, I want to fight Bare Knuckle. And he sort of, you know, held me to my word and said, well, look, if you really want to do it, here you go. See, yeah, so the co-main event on a massive card. So I got chucked in at the deep end, but I went to that gym, mate, basically. I went to Fitness Factory, and all the guys there were brilliant. Obviously, there's a lot of fighters there. They all took me under their wing, and I sort of watched and learned, basically, mate. And then the opportunities came.
It sounds all good. Like, sounds like we're in the right place in terms of doing bare knuckles. So, I'm expecting big things now on Saturday. You know what I mean? But look, at the end of the day, the fight is to win. You know what I mean? So, win or lose. You know what I mean? Getting in there or competing is, I'd say you're doing things there that most people would wish to be able to do. You know that?
Listen, mate. We say one thing: that's win, lose or draw. We're coming for war, no matter what.
All right, Dan. Listen, thanks very much for coming on. I really appreciate it, all right? And talk to you again, right?
God bless you, brother. Thank you.